Hey everybody, welcome back to the Good Bicycle Podcast. I am joined by none other than John Tomac. John Tomac is Norbert champion, downhill champion, innovator, just all-around mountain bike legend guy. Not too bad looking either. Anyway, we're actually here to talk about a little bit about John Tomac and his vision for where mountain bikes and we're going. Alright, so let's give a little brief history about this guy. Well, in fact, he's sporting the Oakley, he's got a little bit of a mullet, golden boy white smile. Come on, really? So, he's from this little town called Owasso, a little blue-collar city in Michigan, just outside Flint, Lansing. Born in 1967. So that would put him, like, if I was born in 76, so he's 9 years older than me. So he's almost 60. So, anyway. So, 67, so like in 1980, he would have been like 13. Right? BMX craze is happening coming out of California. You know, kids are riding their bikes on motocross tracks. It's really taken off. In this town that we live in, or this town, I am actually also from the same town. A little side note. This town sucked back in the early 80s. They were so anti-bicycle that the sidewalks were painted with the sign. They were painted with these letters like that said, "No bicycling, no skateboarding, no rollerblading." Who knows? Now think about where we're at today, right? Anyway, I digress. A bunch of kids, John Tomac and his buddies, they built this little mini BMX track out in the woods, kind of off of this path, that little trail that went by the river. And when I was a kid, 10 years old, so it would have been like 86, 88, 89, and I was going there and he's, "What's up? You got something to say?" "No? You're moving over there." All right. There were a set of doubles. There was big doubles. We had this other jump called the Skyway, but it was built on this property. And this is how original teenagers are. Okay? They named it Spar. Why? Because it was built behind a grocery store named Spar. Right. Well, it's not there now. The city had long gone tore it down. They built a auto parts store, something. So anyway, so you got this kid who is dominating BMX in the 80s, right? Winning national champions. Then in 1990, was that when it was? 1990? Okay. As mountain biking was really coming on. Old boy Johnny here decided he was going to try his hand at road cycling. And what dominated that too. Kind of crazy what he was doing. So in 1990, he was doing his road racing, was doing some mountain bike racing. He won some national titles at Norba in what year? 98? No, 88. 88 and 89? Okay. So in 1988, 89, he won some national championships. Not only in cross country, but dual slalom. How about some downhill? The guy was doing it all. But during his road racing and then transitioning over to cross country, I was kind of, the bike positioning, right? I guess, is that what you're saying? Bike positioning? Okay. You can imagine, if you're competing at such an elite level, that you'd want consistency. So, what does he do in the year 1991? Well, I'll give you an example. This one particular time, when was it? Let me check. I'm looking at my notes here. I don't have it memorized. Oh, while he was racing for the 7-Eleven team over in Europe, he was crushing the crits, and then he would not only dominate Norba, Then he'd be like, you know what? On the same weekend, he would dominate downhill. I mean, that's kind of crazy, right? I mean, I know now where everybody's like, oh, drop bars on this. But he showed up with drop bars. And can you imagine that? All right, let's think about this. 5 years ago. 5 years ago. You go to your local cross country race. You know, you're on your 29er hardtail, and then old boy shows up with drop bars to do this cross country race and smokes you. That's kind of like what he was doing in 1991. Gravel before it was gravel. I mean his Raleigh bike in 1991, racing for Raleigh. All right, let's think about this. So hardtail with fat tires. And back then, fat tire was at max 2.1, so we were talking like 1.95 to 2.1. Titanium, carbon fiber mixed in there, and drop bars with maybe 60 to 80 millimeters of travel if you even had front suspension. That pretty much sounds like a modern day cross-country gravel bike, right? 25 years ago. I mean, that's what this guy was doing. I mean, beyond, he was just going, hey, you know what? The bike ride's better like this. So that's what I'm going to do. And he wins that way. Kind of remarkable. So back to the year 1991. Some of you probably are familiar with the Kamikaze race and Mammoth Mountain Kamikaze. You know, the legendary skin suits where people, they get up to the top and they just kamikaze down. Okay. All within a few days. John Tomac wins the Kamikaze, then flies to Europe, wins the cross-country race on his mountain bike, but with that, secures the World Cup. Okay. With drop bars. Now, granted, the drop bar was short-lived, but still, we'll come back to being the short-lived thing. I mean, my gravel bike, right? I get why everybody wants a gravel bike, but I mean, this guy was like living the future 25 years ago in the past. I mean, think about it. Our gravel bikes. What do we want out of a modern gravel bike? We want great pedaling. We want them to be adventurous. We want them to be able to handle high speeds on the road. We want them to be able to handle fire roads. Single track. We want them to handle it all. And this guy was doing it 25 years ago. Anyway, I find it inspiring. I guess I'm a big John Tomac fan, partially because both went to the same high school. Kind of cool, right? I mean, in a little town, you've got like this guy who revolutionizes mountain biking. Apparently, he revolutionized his gravel bike before gravel was a thing. I mean, he was racing a gravel bike before gravel bikes were gravel bikes. I don't know. I just think that's kind of cool. I mean, if you took his Raleigh bike, kind of maybe just updated the paint job, updated a little bit. Don't you think it looked like a truck checkpoint? Maybe a specialized verge. Granted, cantilever brakes. I mean, we can't forget that. I mean, now we got disc brakes, but even if we went back, it was a blue, and I had canty bikes on, canty brakes on there. That wasn't even that long ago. 10 years ago, maybe? Yeah, maybe. I mean, we've kind of come a long way since then. But anyway, I just wanted to focus a little bit on John Tomac and that revolutionary idea that was short-lived in 1991. You know, the dude showed up with drop bars on a mountain bike. And then now you go to your local bike shop and you're buying pretty much a mountain bike with drop bars, but we're just calling it a gravel bike. yeah, I just think that's kind of cool. Anyway, I know we were all in this like gravel era for the adventure and all that. Anyway, John Tomac pushed the boundaries of our sport. Looked good doing it. He was the rock star of the 80s and 90s. I mean, he was racing all the way into the mid 2000s. The dude's a legend. Straight up legend. And I'm sure if you follow motocross, his son's going to be a legend, if not already a legend in motocross. I mean, the Tomac name is synonymous with two wheels. And one day I hope to actually get to meet the real Tomac. If some of you are looking on this handwriting, in the city of Owasso, in this little town, we had a bike shop called the House of Wheels. And they just recently closed. Really sad to see them go. And that's where I picked up this cutout of this handsome fellow. And on here it says, to House of Wheels, home of the fat tire. Happy trails, John Tomac. Right? It's like, hey, he was remembering. Kind of makes it's just nice. I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy, and one day I hope to get to meet him. But anyway, that's that's this week for Goodbye Cycle. So again, you got a gravel bike, mountain bike, what have you, hanging up in your garage, you're not riding, go to goodbyecycle.com, fill it out, get your quote, sell it to us, and let's push these pedals. Let's get the pedals moving on this bike. So I'm pretty sure that's what you want, that's what he wants, that's what I want, that's what we all want. Get new people into the sport and just make it super awesome. All right, thanks for listening. And this was Goodbye Cycle. I'm Andrew. Thanks for listening or watching. Either way, leave a comment, even a crappy one. I'm sure there's a bunch of haters out there, but if you would, smash the like button, do the whole subscribe thing. That helps us out. Again, Goodbye Cycle, John Tomac, Andrew. Thanks.